Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the walking. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the sheets. You can't go on, man, forget my peace. You take the west, I'll take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys. Man, so tough, but man's keep walking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls, let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
I can be blissfully naive, Stugotz, about a number of different things. Ignorant, really. At 55 years old, I would say it's a little strange, some of the places that I can be naive. One of them that comes to mind immediately, I don't know how many of the people who were there in 2016 when we're watching Trump being inaugurated. I remember at the Clevelander looking at the faces, and all of us, what was happening was not fear. There was no one in that room who was doing fear. It was sort of laughing at the absurdity of a reality television host being named the president of the company. And the only reason I bring this up now,
the country, that's a fine.
The country, excuse me.
Yes,
I might as well,
right,
you know what?
right.
Given how much, yes, I should have said country, but given how much we're dealing with capitalism and what this country has been turned into, we could call it the United States of America as a company, LLC. So, but I remember the faces, Stugotz, in the room, and I was one of them, just sort of laughing at the absurdity of that. And what I'm about to show you now is because so many of the things since then not only have confused me, but I've wildly underestimated how things that I think might be funny or silly or pop culture nonsense can then morph into something that's dangerous.
Sure.
And so over the last 7 or 8 years, I feel like sometimes I don't even have the language for how it is that you get introduced to QAnon. Like when you don't know anything about anything and you're just being shown things that represent an underbelly of white grievance that is now a platform that you can run on to try and aggressively trample minorities and women. But I bring all of this up to say that even by the standards of the last 7 years, getting hit in the face with a fish for 7 years, this on Fox News is something that I still am surprised by and don't understand.
We have had enough of Taylor Swift for now.
She shouldn't be liberal. She should be a total conservative, given everything.
The Pentagon PSYOP unit pitched NATO on turning Taylor Swift into an asset.
Yesterday, she flew private from New York City to Baltimore. Yet she constantly talks about climate change. So just please don't believe everything Taylor Swift says. We're all begging you.
I think she should just stick to her singing and let her love life be what it is.
The New York Times just speculated she's a lesbian.
A new poll shows 18% of voters are likely to vote for whichever candidate Taylor Swift endorses. Uh-oh.
Biden effectively has Taylor Swift as his VP.
A single post of hers led to 35,000 new registrants. That's arguably more power than the president.
She's sharing links. And her boyfriend, Travis Kelce, sponsored by Pfizer.
What's her stance on policy, economic policy, foreign policy?
I don't think that'll be.
So don't get involved. Don't get involved in politics. We don't want to see you there.
I asked this question with
lot to digest there.
No sarcasm.
Whoa!
What are we doing? Her greatest crime is that she's fallen in love with a tight end.
Well, the private jet, I mean.
Is it?
I love the one that was just like, she should just be a Republican. I don't know why she isn't.
She's a lesbian.
Can anyone help me, please, understand what we're doing?
Well, Dan, she is a woman. Yes.
And that's it. That's all you need to know. Yeah.
Okay, so is it that she's empowering young women to be stronger, and that is something that we don't want around our football?
Yep, pretty
Christian
much.
Juszczyk will allow you, and we'll give you a licensing deal and some logos, but that's as comfortable as it gets for us. We need to get the girls out of here. We need our caveman football. Is that what's happening? We need our sports room, the theater room, to be something that doesn't have women in it. It's just everyone looks like Bert Kreischer.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. I think something that they actually mentioned on the video is Taylor Swift does have a lot of power, and she will tweet out links of, like, register to vote, and people will listen to what she says, and she is more liberally aligned in her political views. So it's always easy to shit on a woman in sports. It's really easy.
Why are you surprised by this? I mean, why?
Come
why
on,
are you surprised?
Stugotz, come on.
Dan,
Stugotz,
why are you surprised that Fox News is covering this?
This is what I'm telling you, okay? Because it's not just Fox News. They're feeding their carnivores. This is what I'm telling you. It's easy for you to play the result and tell me why are you surprised. When we were in that room in 2016, because I remember the faces in that room at the Clevelander watching Trump inaugurate it.
Yes.
If I had told you then, you're not going to believe it. But in 2024, Taylor Swift's going to get weaponized. You would not have said to me that was going to happen. You wouldn't have.
I agree with you then. But after 4 years of Trump and now, I guess, 3 more years of Trump, I'm not surprised by anything. I'm just not.
I think you have a great show. I watch it a lot.
All right. Stugotz is unsurprisable.
He endorsed you, Dan. Are you ready to return the favor?
No,
or?
Dan,
Big endorsement, Dano.
Dan, you're not listening. I said at the time, if you told me this, yes, I would be shocked. But today, I'm not that shocked.
But
I'm
it
sorry.
happens every election cycle. Like, they villainize and weaponize whatever celebrity endorses any candidate.
Yeah.
She's a woman.
You mentioned that.
That Biden Swift card, though, that'd be a powerhouse.
Would it win?
Thank you, guys. In a largely audio medium, Tony and Chris shrugging their shoulders helps us not at all.
I mean, I'm not a huge political guy, but it looked good. We got the demographics. You know, you get the young generation, you get the old generation. Right. It looks like there's a lot of people in there.
Let's be real. Taylor would probably become president at some point, right?
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Whisper it. Can Taylor Swift become president at some point?
If she was running as vice
Heartbeat
president.
away.
It's a big election for both VP candidates.
It really is.
Both VP candidates are just kind of holding their hands together like, this could be all mine soon.
Get for me, please, the sound, Stugotz, because the Miami Heat here are in a stretch where they have not scored 110 points in the last 10 games. And that, in an offensive league where Luka's putting up 73 over here, everybody's scoring like crazy. They're talking again about, we got to fix this. There's too much scoring now. We're overdosing on scoring. This is the Heat's longest streak in more than 2 years of not being able to get to 110 points in a basketball game. And Kendrick Perkins has been beating this particular drum for a while now. He quieted it down when they got to the finals last year. It went away for a while, but now he's back to do what Kendrick Perkins is hired to do by ESPN, things like this.
I'm worried about the Miami Heat, and here's one for you right here, Malika. It's time for the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler to go their separate ways. And I believe that the Miami Heat need to do right by Jimmy and trade him to a team that actually could compete for a title this season. And Jimmy needs to accept that for the simple fact, when you look at their roster right now, right, you have a veteran, old Kevin Love. Jimmy Butler is 34 years of age. Everyone else is 30 years and younger. Bam is 26. Jaquez Jr. is 22. I think Tyler Hero is 24. Like, at the end of the day, this Heat team is not going to have a magical run again. And so we don't know how much we're going to see, how much time we're going to have to see playoff Jimmy.
Right.
And we want to see playoff Jimmy. He's just not going to be, it's just not going to be with the Heat. And so I feel like it's time for them to part ways.
What are your thoughts there, Stugotz?
I think that's ridiculous. First off, they don't owe Jimmy Butler anything. Secondly, Eric Spoelstra, Pat Riley, they still think this team can win. They still think this team can compete because that's how they are. I mean, and they have proof of it. They did it last year. They limped in last year. They got a couple of wins and then got rolling and then got all the way to the NBA Finals as an 8 seed. So
it hasn't looked like this in 3 years, maybe 4 years.
I understand that.
It's been a long time since it looked like what the last 7 games have been. And I don't think what Kendrick Perkins is saying there is absurd, but only because within the next 3 years, at some point, you're going to have to start thinking that way. That's a onerous contract late. And these guys, Stugotz, don't age the way that you think they do. You see LeBron in a uniform now. You see his body size. He looks a little bit slower, but the numbers make it look like he's still LeBron. And then what happens? Oh, look, they're bad offensively and they're mediocre defensively. Why? Because they've got the oldest player in the league running around out there.
Right.
And you think he was LeBron, but he's not that anymore, and I think that becomes hard to discern to the common eye on someone like Jimmy Butler. There are a lot of miles on that body, and he's not built like LeBron James. They have used up a lot of Jimmy Butler bandwidth.
I understand that, but this is not Jimmy's decision. Like, you're asking me, what do the Heat think of what Kendrick Perkins has to say? I think Eric Spoelstra and Riley are sitting there going, that's ridiculous. We still think we can win with this group. We're not getting rid of Jimmy Butler.
The best run that they've had in the playoffs, which was this past season as a play-in team all the way to the finals, we saw Jimmy be great in 3 straight series. And then the wheels kind of fell off, right? The body betrayed him. They didn't have enough gas to make it and win the entire thing. You look at the next 2 years, $48 million on the cap, $52 million on the cap in 2 years. Like, we want to get under all the aprons, right? We got 1,000 aprons that we got to get under for the salary cap. Like, it might be time to start saying, you know what? Wow.
Tony, I'm going to tell you again to go sit in the penalty box because of how much you manhandle that microphone. I've asked you several times to stop making love to the microphone every time you speak. That's a little aggressive.
It's that it falls down, Dan, and then I can't
You have now lapsed into total sexual harassment. You have now, there is Tony out.
We don't have HR here.
2 minutes, get out of here.
So the victim of sexual harassment has been kicked out of the room, to be clear.
Yes, thank you.
I'm good.
Billy, do you rule with an iron fist over human resources as well? Because
HR.
I'm still trying to get in contact with the witch. I can't take on all of that.
God bless football continues to thrive. Billy is claiming that he has become friends with Cam Newton.
Cam loved Billy. Seriously, I think Radio Row, Cam said he's leaving a seat open for Billy Gill. He's leaving him a hat. He's leaving him a cigar. This is exciting. Yeah.
I don't think any of that's actually going to happen, though. I think I'll go up to Cam, and he's just going to keep walking, and his handovers will be like a wall of people in between me and him.
Is it on the latest God Bless Football or the one about to come out? Because you guys were telling me you've also befriended Flavor Flav, that Stugotz is trying to negotiate with him to see if he'll go to Radio Row with Stugotz and be hype man for Greg Cody's book, The Pride of the Lion.
Yes.
What is coming out with Flavor Flav, or has it already come out?
So we have an episode that is coming out today. Dan, we were very excited. We got ahead and we thought, you know what, the Super Bowl is coming. What do people want to hear? Because there's this Pro Bowl week. The Pro Bowl week is kind of slow. What do you want to hear? Do you want to hear us recap the game? What do you want to do? So we're like, you know what? Let's get celebrity fans of teams that could go to the Super Bowl. So we reached out and we booked 2 celebrity fans, and we had them locked in last week, and we thought, wow, this is great. We're going to have a Ravens celebrity fan, and we're going to have a Lions celebrity fan. And they can preview their team going to the Super Bowl. And then both of those teams lost. So we have celebrity fans. We have Duff Goldman, the celebrity baker. And we have...
What a get that is.
And we have Flavor Flav. Duff became very good. Here's the thing, Dan, that you need to understand. They both went well. It's coming out today. And Stugotz loved Duff until he talked to Flavor Flav. And then Flavor Flav was the more recent person he talked to, so he loved Flavor Flav more.
Yes.
But... As you know, with celebrities, Stugotz just started asking for a bunch of questions, and he somehow made
a bunch of favors.
Yeah, a bunch of favors, and I believe that he promised Duff that he was going to start a band with him and Austin Eckler because they both play instruments. And Flavor Flav, one thing led to another. He invited us to stay at his house, and now he's going to come to Radio Row with us. And yeah, he may be walking around. We invited him to Radio Row. He invited us to stay at his house. 5 bedrooms.
Let's hear it.
Thinking maybe you head out to Radio Row. We hang out with you a little bit. Talk some
Come on,
football.
let's go.
Let's do that.
Let's go. I'll come to Radio Row. Y'all let me
Perfect.
know where y'all going to be at, and I'll come hang out with y'all.
We're going to be at the DraftKings stage. Yeah, we'll see you there.
Yeah, we want to have you on, okay, man?
This is exciting.
Let's go.
All right.
I'm all in.
And if I need a place to stay, I can crash at your place. Is that cool?
Okay, I got 5 rooms at my crib.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we're trying to make it
Oh,
to
my
Gronk
God.
Beach, but they want us out by Friday. But Gronk Beach is on Saturday, so we're looking for a place to crash Friday night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Austin Eckler is not really going to invite us,
No.
Hey, at least if you stay at my crib, you ain't got to worry about checkout.
That's right.
Flav, I'm going to take you up on this offer. We're coming to your house, okay?
Hey, like my boy Bob Barker said, come on down.
I'm really torn here. I am, because I love Flavor Flav. I love Public Enemy. But Stugotz is so cringy with just asking these people for things that it makes me wildly uncomfortable.
You want to join us?
And then lying about going.
Then saying he's going to go, and then Flavor Flav will be trying to reach him, and Stugotz is like, sorry, buddy, I'm stuck at a craps table. Can't get there. Lucy, what familiarity do you have with Flavor Flav?
I've heard of him.
Okay. So not even Flavor of Love, the dating show, would be the most recent of things, I think, that would be the pop culture things.
Nope.
Okay. I don't imagine that you guys have imagined what Flavor Flav's house looks like.
Huh. 5 bedrooms.
Staying there, I think, put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show, is staying at Flavor Flav's house risky?
Whoa. What is that
I'm
supposed to
leaving.
mean?
I'm leaving it open.
Huh.
I'm leaving it open. I think that you might have an idea of what that is. And I saw the reality show that represents the single worst moment I've ever seen on television when someone he was dating shit on one of the steps.
We've all been there.
Have we?
Gotta go.
Have we?
She did it discreetly.
Have we all? All right, put it on the poll.
He's only got one bathroom.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Have you ever left a date to shit in public on the floor?
Dan, you shit on the side of your house.
No, well, I have. This is the worst part about
What are we doing?
I've been there. I don't think we've all been there. I think many people, look, there are 2 types of people in the world. People who will shit in a public restroom and people who will not. And if you're willing to shit in a public restroom, you will also not be able to control your bowels on occasion, drink too much white wine, and shit in a parking lot. But
that's amazing.
But if you're someone who can not, put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Can you use a gas station bathroom? Can you go number 2 in a gas station bathroom?
The worst of all the bathrooms you just named.
Well, but okay, what do you want me to go with? Because
Let's go with a rest stop.
Well, but I think
rest stops are different, yeah.
Are they?
Because those are a step up.
Yes.
You went to I got to go to a key. This key that I don't want to touch. Like you named the worst of all the public bathrooms.
I mean, an airport bathroom is pretty.
I'd rather do an airport.
Airport's fine.
Any day of the week, dude. A gas station, dude.
You have.
When's the last time you were at a shell
No,
bathroom?
Guys, the difference is
That wooden key.
At a gas station, you have one choice, one toilet. That's it. When you go to like a rest stop or the airport, you have multiple stalls to choose from.
But then
You open
everybody's
every
taking a
door.
shit next to you.
No, but you
it's
open
just a row of shitters.
Shit ratio is a lot higher at a rest
What
stop.
am I doing? Oh, the guy next to me. Can you pass me?
There's a
Shit, bro.
chancleta. You're in my store with that toe. I see your toes.
Get that toe back up there.
No, not Fort Drum. Have you been to Fort Drum lately? Oh,
They renovated, yeah.
the Taj Mahal of rest stops on the Turnpike.
Really?
It used to be Fort Pierce. That used to be the place that you stop. Fort Drum. Now you're like, you know what? I can do the extra 25 minutes and get up to Fort Drum because
Chris Cody, do you think that when people lined up from here to Jacksonville to work for Meadowlark Media, that they imagined a video room that at present is screaming at each other, find Chris Cody's toe in the bathroom stall,
They're scurrying.
Find the toe of Chris
I can
Cody
hear the panic.
shitting because a row of shitters. This is a good question you've just posed, Tony. It's something to ponder. Would you prefer the privacy of a gas station bathroom, or you got 10 shitters next to each other, right next to
Give
each
me
other.
clean. I can be right next to someone as long if I feel like it's not disgusting, I'm good with
It's
it.
an intimate act. I need more privacy unless I've had too much white wine and I'm doing it in a parking lot.
But when you're at a gas station bathroom and you only have the one stall, there are people waiting for you. Yeah. So then they
well,
know
not really,
because
no one pees at those things. Like I feel like it's just you're a monster if you go. If I see you waiting at a Shell bathroom, I don't know why I keep saying Shell.
Go. Yeah,
I know what we
really
need to do.
go.
We need to separate the bathrooms. One for just peers, one for just shitters. So if you go in there, you know what
Forget
time it
women
is.
and men. So we all shit in the same. I like how let's switch it up. We all go in this women and men go in the same bathroom, but this one's for pee and this one's for poop. I'm with you, Tony.
David Samson, you would agree. He's going to join us. You guys would agree. There's no way he ever goes in public.
Nope.
Correct? He's a germaphobe.
No.
Yeah, he'd rather pee in his pants.
Yes.
And so if I am I being someone who is completely out of touch with what it is that I'm talking about when I say that I think airport bathroom and gas station bathroom are in the same family of not pleasant? Like it's not a big difference. I don't even know if you're going to put put an experience between those two. What are you doing? Airplane bathroom? An airplane bathroom is pretty unpleasant.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about that I just because
it's tight.
You've been sitting for a couple hours. It's like a nice moment of just like I'm alone right now. I haven't been alone for a couple hours. I sometimes just stay in there. I stretch up even though there's not a lot of room to stretch. I do this motion, then just kind of look in the mirror, check the face out, just be like, how are we looking?
You know what this is, Dan? This is sub 6 foot privilege right here. Because you and I, when we get into those bathrooms,
no, they're really uncomfortable.
It is tight.
Yeah, it's tight on the sides, but I'm comfortable in there.
But if we're trying to make some sort of order here, Dan, I think rest stop and airport, those are above gas station, and below gas station is 7-Eleven.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
The 7-Eleven.
I don't care that they serve gas either. It's a different kind of gas station.
You know what's a sneaky good public bathroom is a movie theater bathroom.
Yes.
Not a lot.
Yes.
And there's the toe. Oh, for the record, this is not my toe.
How about stadium bathroom?
Stadium. Oh, that's just above gas
that's
station.
Terrible.
That's terrible.
Just above.
That is above, barely a gas station bathroom. But
Above
that's the next worst.
Above 7-Eleven?
7-Eleven. I put that into the just gas station.
No,
that's the same category.
Big
for me.
mistake.
Let me ask you guys something about the stadium bathrooms, because I remember in the old Orange Bowl, when you just brought back sort of a visceral memory of me that just singed my eyebrows and made me back away from the microphone, because one of the more unpleasant things I ever saw in childhood was being in the Orange Bowl and seeing what looked like a cattle trough, just a bunch of people urinating into one cocktail glass of horror in the center of a room where it's just sort of hard to explain. I don't think we do it anywhere in civilized America this way anymore. But I'm talking about hundreds of people just at the same single center of the room, terrible trough. Is that done anywhere in modern society anymore? The total trough urinal.
Just you brought it up, and there was alarm sounding, Dan. Like, you can't bring that up anymore. Like, it's banned from the universe. It is the most barbaric thing that they've done to human beings right there.
When did that get eliminated? When did it stop? Billy, when's the last time you were at a group trough urinal where you've just got
when was the urinal when was the individual urinal invented? That's probably when we're talking here. I'll look it up.
No, it's not when we're talking. The original urinal. These things require some privacy. I think.
I don't mind it. I'm never going to see these people again.
He's done this before. He's a confident peer.
I don't care. I'm never going to see these people again. You want to take a gander? Be my guest. Whatever.
It's not the gander.
No pictures, please. That's where the line is.
He's not worried about
no
the gander.
Pictures, please.
I was at the Panthers game a couple weeks ago,
Gander's low on my list.
I was at a urinal full with people, and I did a thing where I scratched my left shoulder with my chin. It kind of looked. The guy to my right looked at me as if I was trying to peek over.
You're a gander.
No, I was not gandering. I was just trying to itch my. I had an itch on my chin.
Face. You're a gander.
You're
a gander.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's good for the geese, you know.
David Samson. His podcast is Nothing Personal. There is a ton of good stuff on it. He also does a fairly regular podcast with John Skipper and Pablo Torre about sports business that is better than anything I've heard ever in the history of sports business. We've got some business stuff to get to with David, but he is a noted germaphobe, so let's ask him some of the questions that we were talking about before. In your life, the number of times that you have pooped outside of your specified intimate areas, like either your hotel or your home, anywhere else, number of times ever?
Countless, because of during long runs, I've had to pull over in backyards of people's homes or on the side of the streets or in the woods. Absolutely. When you're a runner, you know it. If you know, you know. Airports, when you travel a lot, I spend my life in stadiums. I built my own bathroom at Marlins Park, private, that then became Jeter's bathroom. But what I do in airports is that I always go to the handicap stall where it's its own door and you're alone. And that's my first choice. My second choice is that I go to a bathroom that's closed for cleaning, whether it's the male or the female bathroom. And I go in there and I say to the cleaner, I'm so sorry, I have an emergency. And that works 100% of the time. And then you're alone in there.
Lucy,
so I won't sit in a row.
Lucy, your mouth is hanging open because of how he violates the female bathroom.
You just go into, how often are you going into the women's bathroom?
How many times?
Remember, not with women there. If it's, they put a yellow triangle down to say closed for cleaning. That's the only time I would do that. If the men's room, if there's no individual stall that I can go to, and I mean individual, like its own door. Then if the women's room is being cleaned and there's no one there, I'll knock and I'll say, hey, but I plan my poops because I have a stomach problem. Right. So I rarely am caught, so to speak, with my pants down.
What's your process when you do have to poop in public? Like, are you like, I imagine you are going through crazy to clean, going through crazy extents.
So nothing goes on the floor. I have to check to see whether there's a hook first for any sort of jacket. I put towels, paper towels on the floor where my pants could by chance touch. And then I have layers of stuff on the actual toilet and one across the front. So I really don't touch anything. And then I clean everything, including hands, etc., before I even leave the stall.
What's the oddest place you've pooped while running a marathon?
This is a true story. I actually went inside someone's house on the route and they weren't there and I clogged the toilet too. When I am defending my life with Albert Brooks, this is when I will be sent right to hell because I won't use a porta potty. And it was right before the New York Marathon, and where you are staged is a Army base. And I actually went into someone's house who was in the Army.
It was a veteran? Oh, my God.
No, an active Army
what are you
general.
doing?
Well, thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Lucy, you're
and
mortified.
It ended up clogging, and it flooded, and I ran. I didn't leave a note. And I think about it to this day, that poor person coming back after volunteering for the New York Marathon and what I left that person with.
You couldn't waterboard that information out of me. Oh my God.
Well, he didn't want to give it up. I gotta be honest. I've heard that story before. He has told it before, but that's as long as I've ever heard him pause before answering a question because the shame, I saw the shame rush right back over his face because a general came home from a hard day's work protecting our country for people like you. He comes home.
Who shit in my toilet?
He's right. Who shit in my toilet? What communist shit in my toilet?
Here's a little nugget, Dan. I chose the master bathroom.
Oh, my God.
Why?
Because it's comfortable.
It was nicer.
What do you mean, why?
You were scoping out the bathrooms of the general's house?
This is an uncommon horror. Here's the other thing, by the way. If that general comes home at that moment, there's going to be...
I thought about that, which is why I left the door open. so I could hear if anyone were coming into the house. I did think about that.
That would have helped you against a trained military man.
Didn't want to get caught with his pants down.
I want you to know that I have no shame for things that I've done in the business world. Things meant some shame in my personal life, more than I should maybe. But that moment of my life, Lucy, you'd be proud to know, it's the lowest of the low. It's what I don't want to have brought back up anytime in my future.
I'm not even remotely proud of that at all.
David, the Baltimore Orioles have sold for $1.7 something billion. Wow. The Orioles are selling at a good time because that franchise has been dreadful for this entire century, except for last year. Now they've got a great
That's
young.
not true.
I mean, they've been pretty bad, David. They've been one of what you're going to no.
Go back. If you just said century, they had a great run in the 2000s.
No, this okay. The last quarter century, I feel like they've been pretty bad. Regardless, let's see. We'll look it up. But $1.72 billion.
That's nothing.
How much of a surprise was it that it sold? And what did you think of the number?
I was shocked at the number. I expected to get a call from Jeffrey, with I can't believe that we got Jeter and Sherman to pay 1.2 7 years ago for the Marlins. And now the Orioles are only valued at 1.725. It is not a good number for Major League Baseball at all. They cannot be happy with this transaction. It's a step transaction, which means that this hedge fund private equity guy named David, who is about to be an octogenarian himself, by the way, that doesn't happen until Peter Angelos actually croaks. He only is a limited partner. That's all this announcement is. He's giving money to the Angeloses, letting them take some cash out of the team, getting 40% of the team, but he doesn't get the whole thing until Peter dies. I thought Peter had been dead for half a decade. He's hanging in there, but very much like Bernie, not involved at all. Total dementia. It's very sad. The family has been fighting. There have been lawsuits. So none of it's a surprise except for the number, which is really, really low. Think about what the NBA franchises recently sold or the NFL franchises recently sold. It really puts MLB in third place in valuations, and that's not good.
I wanted to talk to you about the ticket prices at the Super Bowl, Stugotz. I don't know if you saw this. I saw this the other day. The most affordable seat, end zone, upper deck, more than $8,000.
Wow.
The worst seat that there is. I am stunned, though I should not be, that the Super Bowl and football are in Vegas, because that's something I couldn't have guessed possible 8 years ago. David, what do you make of what a great market this is for this event?
No, I actually just think they're trying to prey on insecure people who want to spend money when they needlessly really don't have to right now. Go back to the F1 in Vegas. When those tickets first became available, there were all these packages announced. For $1 million, you can be near the paddock and have 2 nights plus a cocktail, dog, and party. That's what the Super Bowl tickets are right now. They're at their highest. If you're able to hang in there, go to Vegas, play craps with Stu, have fun. The prices will go down as game time approaches. You just have to be prepared to wait. And it's not like it's Indianapolis or a city where there may not be other great things to do, though I love Indianapolis. In Vegas, you can go without a ticket. And if you don't get a ticket, you get to still watch the game at a book and have a great time. So many other options. So I think that these are artificially inflated, and I think you'd be foolish to buy a ticket right now. I hope Meadowlark has not bought tickets for any of the employees to go to the game at those numbers.
Dan bought it for all of us. Yep. It was a celebration.
It's a suite.
Unreal. What a waste.
PGA Live update, anything interesting there?
Yeah, there's a call going on right now live at 9:35 Eastern. Jay Monahan is the best. There's a tournament in LA or in California right now. So there's a bunch of players there at 6:30 in the morning, but he's doing calls trying to get ahead of the news that they're bringing in all this money. It's not the Live merger. It's like a sponsorship deal only, but he's trying to not repeat the mistakes of the past where Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy were not informed of the Live merger. So he's doing these calls right now, literally. So the players hear about John Henry, and there is Saudi money coming into PGA and how great it's going to be. But this is not newsworthy at all. It is them basically selling shares of their entity in order to bring money in to increase purses and make it more palatable for players to stay at PGA versus run to live.
We have 2 minutes left. Your choice on what we talk about, whether it's Skydance buying Paramount or whether it is your movie review.
The Skydance is a much longer conversation I'd love to have with all of you about the consolidation, and we may talk about it on the next Sporting Class. I'd like to review a movie for people to see because we spend time, and Mike Ryan's not here today, but we spend time going through all the crap that Nicolas Cage does. The most prolific movie star that I've ever seen. There's always a new movie of his. He's in one called Dream Scenario. And if you're not going to watch, Butcher's Crossing, and Pig was good, but all the other stuff that he's been doing, please watch Dream Scenario. And know, number one, that's his real hair. He changes his hair, shaves his head, grows his hair in weird ways in order to get into character. And he gets to choose what his character is like. And I want you to imagine what it would be to have Nicolas Cage in your dreams every night where you cannot escape him, and that they're bad dreams. It's the biggest nightmare ever, but a great performance by Nicolas Cage. I give him credit for taking all of these movies, for doing all of them, and every once in a while, a clock is right. God, I just mixed my metaphors. What is it? You can lead a blind nut to a squirrel. Whatever the expression is.
You nailed the dismount. My father likes to say, but, that's the way the cookie bounces. But he's doing it in his second language, so it's somewhat forgivable. That movie was a very creative choice. It was good because many reasons, but Nicolas Cage doesn't often play a total schlub who disgusts you. And he was a schlub and wildly unpleasant. David, thank you for being on with us. We will talk to you again next week, sir.
All right, take care.
You liked that movie, huh? You liked it, Chris?
I actually haven't seen it, but Adnan loved it, and I want to see it.
Adnan and Samson united.
That's his real hair?
One of the things that Kendrick Perkins said, Stugotz, is send Jimmy Butler to a team that can win the championship. And when people say that, just a team that can win the championship, that number this year is 5. And keep in mind, I have to push the Knicks out, even though it might be the best Knicks team we've seen in 25 years.
Right.
I have to push the Knicks out because in that sport, I don't want to be a 4 seed when I know that the top 3 seeds, when I know Philadelphia, Boston, and Milwaukee, when they feel better than I am as a team, I get worried. And I think most people listening to this, even though the Knicks have been 13-2 since those trades and looked really good, they are pounding people.
Yes.
I don't believe that even delusional Knick fan expects to get through the gauntlet of Milwaukee, Philadelphia, and Boston. You don't feel like you might be hopeful, but you don't think you can actually win the championship. You can hope, but you don't think it's a realistic possibility, and your team is very good.
Very good. They've won 8 straight. They've won 9 of 10. Even with Randall out with a separated shoulder, they've still won a couple of games since then. I have no delusions that the Knicks are going to make it or win an NBA title, in large part because the Celtics, Bucks, and Sixers are so good. So those are the three teams. Who are the other teams in the West? Like, you have the Clippers, you have Denver, and that's about it.
I mean, the
right?
Thunder are also
You think
really
the Thunder
good.
can win the NBA title?
I mean, look, I think that their chances are better than the Knicks. I would put the Thunder in the conversation. Obviously, they've got to learn. They got to do the stuff Sacramento's doing, but they are overwhelmingly good. And don't forget Minnesota. Don't throw Minnesota out either. They've been just as good as everybody in the league this year.
And Phoenix. I mean, Phoenix has a shot.
But the Knicks aren't in that group, is what I'm saying. And you just don't want to be a 4 seed.
I mean, the Heat made it to the finals last year being in that same spot. No one gave them a chance before. And doesn't seeing the Heat do it maybe give you,
No.
Okay.
No.
Has a 4 seed ever won the title? I think a 5 seed, as Elijah won a title.
1969 Boston Celtics were the only 4 seed in NBA history to win a title.
My point is, Stugotz, it's no disparagement of the Knicks. It's just an odd purgatory. It's the best the Knicks have been, but it's a weird purgatory to be in when you know in your conference there are 3 teams better than you. So now you gotta maybe you win one home playoff series, and now you're playing Game 7s on the road against teams that are better than you.
Right.
And it just a lot of teams trip before they get there. But the Knicks fans should have more reason for enthusiasm now than they have since, like, the Allen Houston teams and Latrell Sprewell teams.
Yes.
This team is better than anything Carmelo played for and Amari Stoudemire played for.
You just gave me this weird moment where I just saw the Dolphins in everything you're talking about. Best team in 20 years, but still not good enough to beat the good teams in their conference.
But, Chris, I answered that quickly to your question of you can't see the Knicks. The Heat just did it only because of the teams ahead of them. Like, I just can't see the Knicks. As good as they've played, I cannot see them beating Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown or Giannis and Damian Lillard. I just can't see it. I hope they get far. I hope they get to the second or third round. That'd be great. I can't see it make it. I cannot see that team, led by Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, making it to the NBA Finals. I just can't.
It's early in the season still.
Well, it's not.
What? No, it's early that you're not paying attention. It's football season, so you're not fully paying attention. Give you like
the Knicks have caught my attention here.
Yeah, give you 2 to 3 weeks of uninterrupted attention to basketball, and you will convince yourself that the Knicks will go on a run.
All right.
What is it about Jalen Brunson that I just don't buy him as like a number one?
He's small.
Yeah,
and it's the lefty thing too.
Well, I like a lefty. I do.
There's just something there.
He's great. A lot of people are mad that Damian Lillard is in the All-Star game and not him. Knicks fans should be mad. That guy has exceeded every expectation. Every single expectation there was. I think he caught everyone off guard with how he played last postseason after catching everyone off guard with the way he played all regular season last year. Clearly and obviously a leader who didn't need Luka to be a special kind of great.
Speaking of Luka, did you hear what Jason Kidd had to say about Luka? What a joke.
Well, tell the people first before you go. Just hold on, slow down. Hold on.
Let's do Jeopardy.
Hold on.
You give the take, and then we say, what is Jason Kidd ripping
Lucy,
Luka?
He has to be kidding me.
Lucy, all right, Stugotz, you're like a puppy that starts to run on a tile floor, and all 4 of its feet are moving.
I was getting to.
Well, but yeah, you were going to say what a joke what he said was before you said what he said.
What a joke, though. I mean,
okay, but Lucy, would you care to guess? Do you know what this take is that Stugotz is objecting to?
I do not, and I do not have a good guess, which defeats the purpose of you asking me. Sorry about that.
I mean, he can't be serious.
Okay, what did he say? What he has said is that Luka is better than Dirk Nowitzki. That's not the part that I thought you. That's not the part I thought you would object to. And on the same tier as Michael Jordan and LeBron James.
Yeah, he's not. First off, LeBron's not on Michael's tier. Luka's not on anyone's tier. Okay.
Wait a minute.
What?
What do you mean he's not on anyone's tier?
What tier is he on?
He doesn't get to be on anyone's tier.
He's not the greatest Maverick of all time. He is not to be mentioned in the same sentence as LeBron or Michael Jordan. LeBron should not be in the same sentence as Michael.
What if the sentence is Luka shouldn't be in the same sentence as LeBron?
That's the only sentence he belongs in. when it relates to those two. Okay?
Stu, this is a tough take on the heels of him having the greatest shooting performance
I don't care.
of all time.
I don't care.
Since Luka shot a true shooting percentage of 90%
Do it
with
again.
73 points, that's the best ever.
Right.
Wilt Chamberlain was second with 73% in 1963.
Right.
No
Win a-
three-pointers.
Win a playoff series, go to the finals, win a ring, do something. You cannot be top 5. Tony, you cannot be a top 5 Maverick and better than Dirk. Dirk is a Hall of Famer.
He's better than
First ballot Hall of Fame. He's not better than Dirk.
He's better than Dirk.
Dirk won a title. Dirk won a
J.J.
title.
Barea won a title.
Dirk won a
Oh,
title.
he brought out one of his big guns on you, Tony. Stand down.
You can't do it.
Dirk won a title.
He's not even in my top 5 Mavericks of all
Thank
time.
you.
I have that
was,
list, by the
thank
way.
you. I was hoping this is where we were going.
Stand down, Tony. He just walked into the general's house and took a shit.
Luka does skate on most criticism. Like, when's the pressure gonna, like, he's been playing what for 4 or 5 years now? Has he gone to a conference final?
It's not 4 or 5 years yet.
It's been like 3 or 4, though, right? We started
He's
asking
been
about-
anointed for a while now. I'm just saying, when's the pressure get on him of like, hey, win something?
Right. LeBron had that pressure year 3.
He's been on the Mavs since 2018.
Billy, please.
That's 4.
No,
That's 6.
Come on. Come on.
So it hasn't been 4 or 5
How,
years. It's
how
been
many
6.
games
Longer,
was he
right.
playing in 2018? Don't cheat with
check.
your little.
I mean, the numbers never lie, Dan.
Yeah.
Also, Dirk averaged 26, 9, and 3 in the NBA Finals.
Dirk created an entire shot. He invented a shot.
Amin El-Hassan, he's the first person of that size playing that way. Maybe
Gar
him and-
Schmidt would like a word.
Garnett? Okay. Close enough.
Luka back in 2018 played 32 minutes a game, averaged 21.2 points. I mean,
When's the noise going to start, Dan?
All right. Amin El-Hassan will be here in a second.
We don't need him. We're having a good conversation.
Amin El-Hassan will come in. Amin El-Hassan will come in serving a punishment from the righteous gemstones, I am told. And I look forward to getting his expertise on this instead of you and I gasbagging, because I'm startled by how outraged you are about this. I do like, and this has been quite the surprise, somewhere Stugotz's sports takery has gotten reinvigorated, because he did this with Joe Mauer in the Hall of Fame last week, and now he's getting outraged by comments again. I've missed my friend. He's been
Hello.
he's been numbed. The pandemic took a lot out of him. The dead, the little cross. Chicago's below freezing every time he flies, but he's thawed now. He's come out of hibernation.
it wasn't a comment. It was a joke. I mean, seriously.
You said it was a joke that what Jason Kidd.
And a bad one.
You guys have to understand what's happening here.
Jeez.
My old partner rumbles to life. Jason Kidd exists only as a thing to say, this guy is slightly as good as this guy. And then Stugotz pulls out the bazookas, drops to a couple of knees in his back, baby. He's here to stay.
He gets back in the bedroom, but he does the same sexual move over and
That's
over
right.
again.
Yeah.
It's just like, this guy that's playing today, he's nothing compared to the guy from 10 years ago.
It's my wife's chief criticism. Yeah.
And mine. Both your marriages suffer from the same particular affliction, boring sex. And he wants to, you have to understand,
Trying.
one of the things that's reinvigorating God Bless Football, award-winning God Bless Football Stugotz, and Stugotz, who is the star of the proceedings around here, is that he wants to be Mad Dog Russo. He's always wanted to be Mad Dog Russo. And this is the way that Stugotz ages, and this is the way, when talking about analytics, that Chris Mad Dog Russo ages.
You could have been in a situation where you'd be playing in a Super Bowl. Super Bowl. And those poor fans in Michigan, this ruins their year. Listen, I shouldn't say that because you'll probably get over it. But you tell me right now, if you are a Lions fan, you tell me right now, for the next month, when they get this game played and everything else, the month of February, what are you going to be thinking about? Beating Baker Mayfield or the fact you had the Niners dead to rights? My God almighty! Pay attention, Campbell! Jesus, this is ridiculous! And I know we like you, Dan. You're a nice guy. You represent the city of Detroit. Blue collar, tough. Oh, we get all the nonsense. But manage the game properly. You have a chair. I understand it's a long field goal, 2 40-yarders, but your kicker's good. You have you got a chance to go back up by 3 scores, and you go for it on 4th down, and then all the dopes on Twitter are backing you up. The data freaks who wouldn't know Lombardi for Paul Brown. Never heard of Otto Graham. Kenny Stabler, Madden. Wouldn't know him if they fell on him. They do football via math. That's not how you do football. Oh, my God, what a loss.
That's a masterclass in sports radio right there. I mean, God almighty, classic result.
We are not worthy. You wouldn't know Paul Brown from Vince Lombardi. Never heard of Otto Graham.
Do you love that Dan Campbell unintentionally became the patron saint of analytics
It's so
when
good.
he's never once
It's
looked
so
at those?
Good. It's so good.
I love his apology for saying Jesus.
Cut for me when he gets going and starts stammering so I could play with that sound in the next segment.
It's at dead to rights.
He is a magician, and I don't understand how his battery doesn't ever go to empty. I mean, Otto Graham?